national icons, a man who came to prominence very quickly with athletic success. This tragic episode will be reverberating in South Africa and around the world. Peter Biles, BBC News, Cape Town.
Well, we've just had some pictures in. We're going to be speaking to Nick Erickson from BBC Africa in just a moment. I just want to show you the latest pictures that have just come into us. You'll see it doesn't look much, but you'll see in a moment. There you go. You can see Oscar Pistorius being led away into the gardens and grounds of the police station where he's being held. You can just see the back of his head and that grey hoodie that he is wearing disappearing there. So those are the latest pictures that have just come into us from South African TV networks. As I say, Nick Erickson from BBC Africa is here in the studio. What happens now?
What happens now is he's likely to appear in court tomorrow. There were reports that he was hoping to make an appearance in court today, but forensic evidence needs to be gathered. Police have gone to great lengths to stress that they want to do that properly so that the case is not compromised in any way. And Oscar Pistorius himself had to undergo some kind of medical examination, things like looking under his nails, taking blood tests from him to establish alcohol levels and that kind of thing. He appears in court tomorrow. Looks like he's facing charges of murder and possibly, we don't know yet, according to Eyewitness News in Johannesburg, possibly some firearms-related charges as well. He is possibly going to plead not guilty, and the state will oppose bail, I believe.
OK, that's the legal position.
That's right.
Oscar Pistorius himself, I mean, he's a superstar in South. I mean, is he, you know, kind of in Britain you've got David Beckham.
Yes.
Is Oscar Pistorius of a similar sort of superstar nature in South Africa?
He is. I think he is. He hasn't been around as long as David Beckham, but I think in terms of how he gets to people's hearts in South Africa and the fact that people have recognized the impact that he's made around the world. At the heart of Oscar Pistorius' story is his demand to be recognized and acknowledged as an athlete, not as a Paralympian or a disabled athlete, but as an athlete, and thereby an extension as a human being in his own right. You know, he had this double amputation when he was just a few months old, and right from school he proved that he could overcome that disability. And I think South Africans recognized two things in him: the need to overcome adversity and also the need not to be categorized. I think that resonated with a lot of South Africans, and a lot of people back home have taken him to heart across the wide spectrum that is the South African population. Yeah,
and with superstar status comes, I would imagine, a great deal of attention and, you know, kind of, you know, the sort of girlfriend that's a model and all the rest of it. I mean, I would imagine that they're very rarely out of the limelight.
Indeed, they really are. And I mean, there are reports already emerging, you've mentioned them on your program, of massive sponsorship deals that he had tied up. There's one major television station in South Africa which had taken him on board to promote the Oscars in the run-up to the Oscar ceremony. They have dropped him for that because they think it will be insensitive to carry his face and associate him with the television station. And there are reports of the main road, one of the main roads through Johannesburg, posters of Oscar Pistorius. There were reports on social media I was seeing before speaking to you that these posters have been taken down and that his image has been taken down from other public places. So there is already this kind of commercial backlash against what has happened today, even though nothing has been proved and he is guilty. I mean, he's innocent before proven guilty.
Absolutely. OK, Nick Erickson, very interesting. Thanks very much indeed for that update. Thank you. Right, let's look at some of the other stories making the news today. New figures suggest that Europe's largest economy, Germany, contracted by more than anticipated in the last 3 months of 2012. The European Union Statistics Office says output shrank by 0.6%, steepest fall since 2009, when the global economy was in its deepest recession since the Second World War. South Korea has released footage of newly deployed cruise missiles, which it says can hit any target